Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. The names that you just heard me say is the true names of the Heavenly Father and His Son in the ancient Hebrew or Paleo Hebrew. The name of the name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh. Yah is He. Hawa means to be or to exist. That was the name given to Moses on Mount Sinai. You can read about that in Exodus, the 3rd chapter. And the true name of the Son of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, his name in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. Yah is He, and Hawah Shai means deliverer. And that is what the angel told Mary to name her son, for he shall save his people from their sins. A nomen, his name is a nomen omen, right? And those are the names that have called us out of the world, called us out of darkness, and told us to separate ourselves from the world. And in this lesson, I won't make this long. I have just a few precepts just to address Ahlazar, of the head of the Sakari camp. Because if you've seen it, Ahlazar was on the No Jumper podcast, or the No Jumper, whatever. I guess it's a podcast or something like that. And he was saying along the lines of pretty much he's joined onto the Hoover Crips. And we are commanded to separate ourselves from the ways of the world, right? We are no longer supposed to be that old man, being tied to a gang, being, just using things like the dietary law, eating shrimp, pork, crab, and lobster, doing things that, the old man was to do. Once we have been illuminated, once we have been called into this faith by the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, we are supposed to avoid that, right? As even I have here, James chapter 4, right? The little subtitle says things to avoid. So when you become the new man, you are supposed to avoid the things that you once were partaking in, right? The things that you used to partake in as the old man. These are things that you now avoid. Even comes down to people that you may even avoid, right? So this would be a message to Ahlazar of the Sakari camp, right? And you being the head of a camp, you should know better, right? So I'm going to start here and then we'll build from there. This is James chapter 4, and I'll start verse 4. It says, Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is an enemy of the Heavenly Father. And you, Ahlazar, showing yourself to be a friend of the world, because now you are joining yourself unto the Hoover Crips, trying to say that you're going to be a light unto them. You don't need to join the Hoover Crips for them to hear the word. You just preach the word in season, out of season, and the Heavenly Father is going to draw in who He wants to draw in. We are only here for the elect of the nation of Israel, which we, doing this work, hope to be a part of that number, hope to be of that, hope to be of the elect. We are not here for everybody. So I want to go into that word, friend. I'm sorry, friendship, I believe it is. Right, when you go into the word friendship, it says fondness, right? So now we have another word there, fondness or friendship, right? So let's just do a simple Google search for fondness, right? I want the synonyms as well. Hold on, give me a second. Here we go. So this is just a simple definition, fondness, right? It says affection or liking for someone or something, right? And it says affection, love, likeness, right? Sentiment, attachment, closeness, right? So when you're joining yourselves onto the Hoover Crip, you, Ahlazar, are showing to have what? Attachment back to the attachment to the world, when you're supposed to separate. We're supposed to, especially in these times, we're supposed to separate more and more from the world. We're not supposed to find ways to attach ourselves back to the old man, attach ourselves back to our old ways. No, we're supposed to detach from those things. So when you're joining unto the Hoover Crip or trying to have any type of association with them, you are showing fondness. You are showing a liking, a love to them. And that makes you an enemy to the Heavenly Father, right? Right? Even says right here, a weakness, a soft spot. I kind of have a soft spot, a weakness for him. So it's like, I kind of be around them. I kind of do things with them. I feel bad for him. No, we're not supposed to have a weak spot or a soft spot for our people, right? Now, I mean, to a degree, we do have a weak spot or a soft spot for our people. But again, that is really supposed to be geared and toward the elect. Now, we don't know who the elect may be, but to kind of steal this phrase from, I think it was there was Ray Lewis, I think. The brother Shumyar would know what I'm talking about. I think it was Ray Lewis. It's either Ray Lewis or Deion Sanders said it. Big time players make big time plays in big time games. And brothers say sometimes what? Elect are going to do elect things. So if you see your brothers in the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shai doing the correct thing, Lord's willing, that brother could be of the elect. And what? The elect are going to do the things of the Spirit. They're not going to attach themselves to the world. They're going to detach themselves from the world. They're not going to mingle back in those things. If they were a gang member, even going down to, I'll use myself as an example, being around certain people. Since I came into this faith, I've avoided certain people because I didn't want that to, not because of I hate them or anything like that. But even the Lord talked about what you'll separate and things like that. He's talked about that. Let me get that real quick. And a man's foe shall be there of his own household, right? He even talks about separation. So you'll even separate from your own family. It doesn't mean that you hate your family, but what? You're just not going to see eye to eye with them. Why? Because of what you believe and what they believe is two separate things. Here we go. Matthew chapter 10 and verse 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. And a sword usually means division. If you look at certain video games, right? If you play like PvP type games like Call of Duty or something like that, right? Player versus player. What do you usually have? You'll have two swords crossing each other in an X, meaning that what? One team is against another. So when it says when I came not to send peace, but a sword, meaning what? Division. Two people are going to be at odds, two opposing ideologies. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, right? And the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. See, so you're even going to be separated, detached even from those of your own household, your woman, your children, your father, your mother. So it goes the same thing with the ways of the world. We're supposed to be detached from the ways of the world. We're not supposed to look or try to join ourselves unto any gang members or things like that, trying to be a light unto them. No. Again, the Heavenly Father, just preach the word, do what you're supposed to do, bring out the correct doctrine, right? Not this nonsense that you've been bringing out with like the vultures mating and things like that. No. Bring out the correct doctrine, bring out the correct breakdowns, preach the word, and the Heavenly Father will do the work through the YouTube. That's all we have to do. It's a very simple work. It's very simple. Like Yahweh Shai said, for my burden is light and my yoke is easy. I may have butchered that a little bit, Salakia, but what? It's a light burden. It's a light yoke. It's not much that you have to do. Just keep it simple. I even learned that acronym in college. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Don't try to do all this extra work because you might get yourself caught up into something that you may not be able to get out. And you trying to joining yourselves to Hoover Crip, you may be associating yourself or joining yourself onto something that could get you into deep waters and even your congregation into deep waters. Right? So going back, I'll read that again for James 4 and 4. It says, Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that friendship or fondness of the world is enmity with the Most High? Having a liking for the world makes you an enemy of the Heavenly Father. Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is an enemy of the Heavenly Father. And you joining yourself unto the Hoover Crips is showing yourself to be an enemy of the Heavenly Father. Right? This is 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 17. It says, Therefore, if any man be in Hamashiach, he is a new creature, not that old creature doing those old things, not that old dog, no, a new creature. Old things are passed away, and behold, all things are become new. That's why when people see you in this faith doing these things, they're like, damn, you really changed. They don't see you doing maybe you used to smoke, maybe you used to drink a lot now. Nothing's wrong with drinking, but maybe you've toned down, right? Because the scriptures talk about moderation, right? They see that, I've even been told, oh, you're reading a lot of books now and things like that. I was never much a reader, right? So they see that change. They see what? That new creature, right? The old things that you used to do, the selling, maybe selling drugs, again, smoking weed, those things, right? Those things are passed away. They are gone, right? I'm sorry. The old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. So you have become that new man. But attaching yourself to the Hoover Crips is showing that you haven't detached from the ways of the world. No matter if you try to sit there and think, I'm trying to be a light unto them. You don't need to join unto a gang to try and be a light unto them. Again, just preach the word, and that's simple enough. Right? Let's look at an example, which you should know, Ahlazar, of Saul. Remember when Saul tried to do a little too much? Remember when the Lord gave him strict commandment? Go kill the Amalekites, go kill them all, go kill the king, the men, the women, even the beast. But what did Saul try to do, right? He said, you know what? We're going to keep some of the beasts. We're going to keep the king alive. And what did the Heavenly Father do? He rejected Saul because what? He didn't, the Heavenly Saul didn't obey the direct commandment of the Heavenly Father. Matter of fact, let me see if I can get that. I want to make this short, but I believe that's first. It might be 14. No, 15. There we go. So let's run through this real quick. This is Saul's disobedience, right? Samuel also said unto Saul, the Lord sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Lord Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek, and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox, sheep, camel, and ass. So direct commandment, destroy it all, right? And Saul gathered the people together and numbered them in Telaim, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, 200,000 footmen and 10,000 men of Judah. And Saul came to a city of Amalek and laid wait in the valley, right? So let's go a little further. Let's go to verse 10. And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou comest to Shur, that is over against Egypt. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. But Saul and the people spared Agag, so he spared the king, and the best of the sheep, and of the oxen, and of the fatlings, and of the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them, but everything that was vile and refused, that they destroyed utterly. So Saul and some of the Israelites spared, right? But going back again, what was the commandment of the Heavenly Father? Verse 3. Now go and smite Amalek, and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not. Slay both man and woman, infant, suckling, and ox, sheep, camel, and ass. So a direct commandment to do exactly what he said. But Saul did the opposite. Now let's look at the end of Saul. Let's look at the beginning, I should say, of the end of Saul. Verse 10. Then came the word of Yahweh unto Samuel, which Samuel was the prophet during this time. It repented me that I have set up Saul to be king, for he has turned back from following me, and had not performed my commandments. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto Yahweh all night. Right? Matter of fact, let me forward. Verse 13, sorry. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be thou of the Lord Yahweh, I have performed the commandment of the Lord. So in his mind, he's thinking, blessed be you, Samuel, Barakatah, to you, Samuel, I did the commandment of the Lord, everything's good. And Ahlazar, you may be thinking that same thing in your mind, that you're doing the works of the Lord. But what? Verse 14, and Samuel said, What meaneth this bleating of the sheep in mine ears, and the lowing of the oxen which I hear? And Saul said, I have brought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen to sacrifice unto the Lord thy God, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. Then Samuel said unto Saul, Stay, and I will tell thee what Yahweh had said to me this night. And he said unto him, Say on. And Samuel said, When thou wast little in thine own sight, wast thou not made the head of the tribes of Israel? And the Lord anointed thee king over Israel? And the Lord sent thee on a journey and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed. Wherefore then didst thou not obey the voice of the Lord, but didst fly upon the spoil, and didst evil in the sight of the Lord? And Saul said unto Saul said unto Samuel, Yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord. So in his mind, he's thinking, what do you mean? I obeyed the voice of the Lord, right? And I have gone the way which the Lord sent me, and have brought Agag, the king of the Amalekites. But the direct commandment was to slay everything. Don't come and bring back stuff thinking that, oh, what do you mean I didn't do the commandment? I brought back the king. I brought back the best of the sheep and things like. The Lord didn't ask for you to bring something back. He asked for you to slay everything. That's the same thing in this time, right? Just think of it spiritually. The Lord didn't ask to join unto no Hoover Crips. He didn't ask you to attach yourself so that way you can be a light unto the world. He asks us to be detached from the world. So therefore, that way our lights can shine. And that way what? People can glorify our Father who is in heaven for our good works. Detaching ourselves from the world is how people are going to see the light, not attaching ourselves to it. Right? I'm sorry, I lost where I was. Verse 20, and Saul said unto Samuel, Yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord, and have not gone the way which the Lord sent me, and have brought Agag, the king of the Amalekite, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. No, you did not destroy utterly the Amalekites. But the people took of the spoil the sheep and oxen, and the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto the Lord thy God. And Samuel said, Hath the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. And if you ever listen to a lot of brothers, specifically like Elder Yashawamba, he's always mentioned that Ahlazar, when he was with GMS, has always been a guy who was self-willed and always wanted to do his own thing and was very hard-headed and never listened, right? So this applies to you, Ahlazar. Behold, to obey, to listen, to hearken, is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. Verse 23, for rebellion and what you're doing could be seen as rebellion in the sight of the Heavenly Father. We can't see things according to, and you're head of a camp. You should know these things. We can't go according to how we see things. We have to go according to how the Heavenly Father sees things. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he had also rejected thee from being king. And we see here the beginning of the end of Saul. Because Saul refused to listen to the Heavenly Father and refused to do what he wanted, he was rejected from being king. And if you don't shape up, you're also going to be rejected by the Heavenly Father by trying to tie yourself to a gang member, or gang members, I should say. Just a couple more precepts. And Thawadi Bashim Shah forgive me that story there with Saul. Did not think to go into that, but it's all the Spirit. This is Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 22. That ye put off concerning the former conversation the old man. And when you go into that word conversation, I'm pretty sure the word there should be anastrophe. Yep. Which means manner of life, conduct, behavior. So the old man, the things that you used to do, you put that off, which is corrupt according to deceitful lust. See? And be renewed in the spirit of your mind, that ye put on the new man, which is after the Most High, created in righteousness and true holiness. See? So put off the new man. Don't be going back trying to join onto no Hoover Crip. No. You're showing fondness. You're showing a liking to that. And that is making you an enemy in the sight of the Heavenly Father. Excuse me. Last precept is 1 Peter chapter 5, and I'll start verse 2. Feed the flock of the Heavenly Father which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind, neither being as lords over God's heritage, but being examples to the flock. So you have to be a right example to the flock. And joining yourself unto a Hoover Crip is not being an example. And even for those individuals that you're trying to reach, you're not even being a good example for them. We're supposed to be a proper example. Did Yahushua join himself unto any gangs or anything like that? What do the Christians say, right? Apologies for saying the name, but they have the little acronym or something like that. WWJD, I think it is. What would Jesus do? Well, just flip that. What would Yahushua do? Would Yahushua join himself unto any gangs? Would Yahushua do the things that you men of Sicaria do? Would Yahushua say or do any of the foolish things that you guys have said or do? Or how you guys, brought that one Passover. Now you did apologize for that, okay? But did Yahushua hold his Passover like that? You got to think about how Yahushua would do things and not how you want to do things. The same thing like Saul. Saul thought, oh, well, if I keep the king, I keep some of the best, we could bring sacrifice unto the Lord. But that was the end of Saul from being king, and the Heavenly Father rejected him. So shape up, Ahlazar, shape up. Otherwise, you could very well end up just like King Saul. And that'll be all. I just pray that this video is edifying, not just to, this is a video strictly for Ahlazar, the head of the Sicaria camp, but this could be, even a warning to us and to anybody else out there. So I pray that this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the whole elect. Shalom.